Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Today, let's predict super micro computer stock. I am a swing investor, and I will not consider the price changes of a stock 1 month later. This channel only makes short-term price predictions for stocks, usually 1 to 3 weeks. Welcome to subscribe to this channel. Super micro computer stock retreated sharply after rising during Thursday's intraday trading, but the stock price did not fall below the key support position at the close, and the current stock price is still maintained at a certain height, which shows that the bulls of the stock are still trying to maintain the stock price, but the strength seems to be weakening. The stock rebounded again after further decline last Friday, indicating that there is long capital intervention in the stock, but the amount is limited. Since the stock currently accumulates a large number of locked positions above $43. The intraday stock price rise on Thursday was blocked again. So will this wave of selling directly lead to a downward trend in the stock price? I think it is possible, but since the stock is still maintained at a certain height, the bulls may continue to struggle. This means that the stock still has a chance to rebound again, but the upside does not seem to be large. We can see from the 30-minute chart of the stock. From May 14th to 16th, the stock price fluctuated greatly. The bulls tried to push the stock price higher but were suppressed by the bears. A large number of transactions were released during these 3 days. A large amount of funds should have flowed out of the market, so the stock price lost the momentum to rise and formed a certain resistance in the $42 to $47.80 area. The stock seemed to experience such a price trend again from May 27th to 29th. Although the trading volume in the last 3 days was not large, the signal of intraday capital selling was still very obvious. This means that the stock was suppressed by the bears again and some chips were released, which caused the bulls to be in a passive position again, which also means that the next rebound of the stock will become more difficult. If based on the current overall trend, the stock seems to be very vulnerable after experiencing 2 waves of selling. Although the current stock price is still maintained at a certain height, the risk of a sharp drop in the stock price seems to be increasing, and there seems to be an insurmountable area above the current price. We can see through the position distribution data of the stock. Most of the current positions of the stock are distributed in the $39 to $47.60 area, and the current price of the stock is at the lower end of this area, which is very unfavorable for bulls. The position volume of the stock below $39 has decreased significantly in the past 2 weeks, which means that most of the long capital that entered the market at a low level has withdrawn from the market, which is why the stock price cannot rise further, and a large number of concentrated selling chips have suppressed the rebound of the stock price this week. The situation next is still full of uncertainty. Although the current bulls are weak, the stock price may not directly enter a downward trend, but rebound again, because the current bears do not seem to be in full control of the situation. Super micro designs and manufacture servers equipped with Nvidia's high-performance GPUs, which makes the price fluctuations of the stock affected by the fluctuations of Nvidia's stock price. Although Nvidia announced a mixed first quarter performance on Thursday, Nvidia's stock price still rose 3.25% at the close of Thursday, but the stock did not open much higher on Thursday, and the stock price fell more subsequently, indicating that the market's bullish sentiment is not high. Previously, Supermicro and DataVolt reached a $20 billion cooperation to develop super large-scale AI parks in Saudi Arabia and the United States, and analysts are optimistic about its growth prospects in the ongoing AI boom. However, Supermicro's stock price has recently risen sharply and then fell sharply, indicating that investors are still concerned about the company's disappointing third-quarter results and dismal performance guidance, and are worried that macroeconomic pressures may lead to a slowdown in AI spending. In addition, Supermicro has not yet issued performance guidance for fiscal 2026, citing uncertainties related to tariffs. Recently, U.S. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent told Fox News that U.S.-China trade negotiations are a bit stagnant and require direct dialogue between the leaders of the two countries. Besant facilitated a breakthrough agreement between the world's two largest economies in Switzerland on May 12. The two countries agreed to cancel recent tariffs of more than 100% within 90 days, that is, in mid-August. China is the most difficult country to reach an agreement with in U.S. trade negotiations. Because there is a huge gap between what Trump wants and China's bottom line, it is unlikely that the two countries will reach an agreement in mid-August. At that time, either the tariff war will be escalated again or postponed again. In short, the future of the trade negotiations between the United States and China is still full of uncertainty. On Thursday, the U.S. Federal Circuit Court of Appeals allowed Trump's tariff measures to remain temporarily, just one day before the U.S. International Trade Court ruled on Wednesday that Trump exceeded the tariff authority provided by the International Emergency Economic Powers Act. This news brought the latest uncertainty to the already uneasy market, so the stock market continued to fluctuate at a high level on Thursday, and investors' wait-and-see sentiment became increasingly strong. If the market chooses to adjust downward, the stock will undoubtedly follow. Because the current bullish power of the stock is very fragile, once it encounters a large-scale short selling, the stock will adjust downward sharply. But in the absence of major negative news, the bulls may continue to struggle for a while and may even rebound again. But I think it is very risky to go long on the stock above $39. After Nvidia released its first quarter earnings report, the direct factors affecting the stock seem to have disappeared. However, the stock does not currently have the support of bullish power like Nvidia's stock. After the stock has recently suffered two waves of selling, it seems that market sentiment is somewhat negative. This means that even if the stock price rebounds, its upside is not much, and the stock price is not expected to break through the $45 level, and then the stock may enter a downtrend, and the target price may be around $36. Okay, guys, this is my price prediction for Supermicro computer stock. Thank you for watching. If you agree with my analysis, please share and subscribe to my channel. See you in the next video.